You hear about salespeople killing it on LinkedIn all the time, but you're wondering exactly how to do it? Let's explore social selling tactics on this episode of Closing Time. Thanks for tuning into Closing Time, the show for go-to-market leaders. I'm Val Riley, head of content and digital marketing at Insightly CRM. Today, I'm joined by Mandy McEwen. She was named by LinkedIn as a top 24 B2B marketer, and she is the CEO and founder of Mod Girl Marketing. Welcome to the show, Mandy.
Thanks for having me.
Awesome. Well, Mandy, you have this mantra that I love, and it goes engage, connect, post, repeat. And I'd like to just go through that because I think it's a really good way for people to remember what they're supposed to be doing on LinkedIn. So let's break it down in practical terms. Let's start with engage.
Yes. So the LinkedIn platform is all about networking, right? That's why it was created in the first place, was obviously a place to meet professionals and network. So the very first thing you're going to want to do when you have your profile optimized is start engaging with people. So make sure that you have a list of people that you want to get in front of. Make sure you are following the thought leaders and influencers in your industry and, of course, your prospects. And then you want to start engaging with them consistently, liking their posts, leaving comments, and really being part of the community, because that is how you succeed on LinkedIn. It's definitely not a look at me, look how great I am, look at my posts, believe everything I say, and that's it, right? It really is about building community, building friends, and building those quality relationships.
How do you select posts to comment on? And is it more about like the person, they're in your ICP, or maybe you have a unique point of view to offer on what that post is about?
It really is a variety of different posts that you're going to want to be commenting on. So we have certain buckets, right? You have your ICP over here, and obviously you're going to want to be engaging with them before you reach out. Then you have kind of your friends, right? Like the people that reciprocate the engagement. And then you have the thought leaders. And then you have another bucket of just as you're perusing LinkedIn in your feed and you see anything that strikes your attention, maybe it motivates you, maybe you learn something new, then you can leave a comment on that as well. So you always want to, come from a different place, not necessarily like, great post, Val, like keep it up, right? Like that's fine if you have 2 seconds to leave a comment, but if you can leave a little bit more, put some effort into it and leave maybe an insightful comment, maybe ask a question, maybe put your 2 cents about what you found and your experiences, anything to keep the dialogue going and make it seem like you're genuinely taking time to leave a comment and you're not just doing it for the sake of doing it. So there's a variety of different ways, but you want to try to stay somewhat focused, right? So if you're following massive influencers with millions of followers, like Gary Vee, for example, I mean, that's fine if you want to comment on stuff, but it's probably not going to help you a ton, right? So I'm all about intention and doing everything with intention. And so we all have a limited time in our day. Time is not, unlimited, fortunately. So we have to be really strategic with how we spend that time. And you need to be smart about the types of posts you're leaving comments on. So it's actually going to do something, right? And be strategic about that.
All right, let's shift to the next one. So it goes from engage to connect.
So the reason we want to engage before we connect is we want to let them know that we did our homework and we aren't just some random spammer or bot. And so when people see that you engaged with their content ahead of time, they are way more likely to accept your connection request. So I like sending a note that says something like, hey, Val, I saw your post yesterday on XYZ, really enjoyed your point about ABC, would love to connect here. And that's showing that, obviously you saw the post and engaged with it. But the key is to wait until, if you can, to wait until they actually see your comments. And how we know that is if they react to the comment, obviously they like it, they might respond, or maybe wait 2 days. And then you send that connection request mentioning that content. Now, I know not everyone is posting content on LinkedIn. So if they're not posting content, look to see if they're engaging with other people's content. So you can look at everyone's activity section. So when you go to the activity section, you can look to see if those individuals are leaving comments on other people's posts. And then from those comments, you can actually engage. So you can like someone's comment, you can respond to the comment, or you could reach out and say, hey, Val, I saw your comment yesterday on Courtney's post. Enjoyed your point about XYZ, would be happy to connect. So you're using that content piece to then send a connection request. And of course, if you can't do the first engage, the first step of this, then you're going to have to get creative and look at something else on their profile, anything that stands out, anything personal. Maybe something's going on in their company. You can mention that company in the news. So we always want to start with, what are they doing on LinkedIn? How can we engage with that? And how can we mention that in the connection request? And then if that is not a possibility, you need to think outside the box and try to find something else on their profile. The whole goal is to make sure that they realize that you did your homework. And again, you're not just some slimy salesperson trying to pitch slap them immediately.
Well, let's explore that too, because if you're guiding somebody, is there like an optimum number of connections you want them to try to make each week or reach out to without like being too salesy? Is there a specific metric?
Yeah, good question. So LinkedIn allows 100 connection requests per week. So that's the limit that they put. So I like to recommend, like, if you could do, 20 a day, that is amazing, right? To start at. And it really doesn't, it's just a matter of, don't be salesy and annoying in the connection request, right? So you can send as many as LinkedIn will let you, and you can be strategic about it, as long as you're not coming across annoying.
Gotcha. Your next in the list is post. So let's talk about, I think this is where people get stuck, right? Like,
yes.
How do you generate ideas for content?
So for those that aren't super comfortable with posting content, maybe they haven't been posting content consistently, I like to recommend that they curate content. So the art of content curation. And essentially what that means, Val, you're the content marketing expert, is taking other people's content and posting them on your LinkedIn feed. And you can start with your company. So if you're an employee, the company LinkedIn page is a great way to start sharing that content. Obviously, ones that you resonate with and posts that you actually enjoy and you think that your audience would enjoy. So instead of just clicking the repost button, you want to click repost with your thoughts and then add your own 2 cents. So add at least a few sentences, tag the company page, tag anyone else that would be relevant, add some hashtags. So it's almost like a mini post, but you're sharing the company content. Something else that I recommend when I train sales teams is, you all have tons of amazing content and use cases and videos and testimonials and blog posts. Like, every company has all these amazing assets from their content marketing team, like you, Val, and salespeople can easily go and take all of that content and make their own posts from that. So you can easily go to a case study page on the company website, take a little blurb. You don't even have to really write it yourself. Like, this literally could take you 5 minutes. Take a little blurb, maybe take a screenshot, maybe some data points, and then bam, you have your own post. So I'm a huge fan of content curation, especially for those people who really need to get their feet wet before they start posting unique content. And you can also do this not just with your own company, but other individuals that you trust and like and have great content. Obviously not competitors, but people in the space, other company pages, maybe even an article you found, maybe even a tweet you can screenshot and post of someone else's. Maybe it's a quote, right? Like, there's endless ways that you can curate content to boost your own thought leadership before you start posting your own unique content.
I actually had a sales team member reach out to me and say, hey, is it okay if I post about that webinar we're having next week? And I was like, of course it is. Like, that's right. Yeah. So, what you're saying is, it's not rocket science, but I think everybody needs a bit of a reminder that your content marketing team has a plethora of stuff for you to use to get that ball rolling with your content development.
100%. And if you're wondering what would be best, like, ask your content marketing team, ask your marketing team, like, hey, do you have any ideas of what we could be posting? Like, this is where the marketing and sales teams really need to come together in harmony to make this work really well when it comes to content, because salespeople, they're not meant to be posting amazing, unique thought leadership content all the time, right? Like, that's not their job. A lot of them don't have time for that. Like, there's a very small percentage of them that are going to post unique content. And we can talk about that now. And there's lots of, I highly encourage everyone to post their own unique content, of course, but I understand that, time is limited. We have a quota we have to meet. We have cold calls and emails and LinkedIn messages and everything we have to take care of, that a lot of these people are not going to spend hours per day coming up with content. And so content curation is by far the easiest way to start posting content consistently on the platform.
That's a great way. It's a great way to get started. So, something I saw you mention was about name dropping. Can you talk me through that?
Yes. So name dropping, I love doing this in LinkedIn messages, of course, if I have permission, and then on posts as well. So when it comes to posting content, anytime that you can tag people that is relevant, right? Like don't tag a bunch of randos just to get engagement. Don't do that because that could actually hurt you more than it could help you. But anytime that you can engage with people and include them in on your posts, you're going to get more engagement, and not just individuals, but companies as well. And then on the flip side with the messages. So one of the best ways to get people to actually accept your connection request is if you're saying, hey, Courtney, Val and I were just talking yesterday. Your name came up. Would love to connect with you and fill you in on what we were talking about regarding ABC, right? But I have already got permission from Val to use her name. And so anytime you can include people in, again, it is going to be a way that you're building faster trust, and you're going to boost engagement on the content side. And there's a 99% chance on the messaging side that people are going to accept your connection request because they're like, oh yeah, I know that person and I wonder what they were talking about, right? It like piques their curiosity.
Yeah, I would certainly feel compelled to engage with that. So I think that makes good sense. Again, if it comes from a place that doesn't seem salesy, but seems like a useful use of the platform where we're trying to proliferate a message.
Exactly. And it really is all about value, so it's not like, hey, Courtney and I were just talking and she said it's okay for me to pitch you, it's more of like, you want to come from a place of value. We were talking about this, and you can help provide value before you even pitch anything. And that's the whole basis of what we're trying to do on LinkedIn, is prove that we are credible leaders in the space that genuinely care about people and helping people. And that's what we're here for. And if we're not the right solution, that's fine. Maybe we can point you in the right direction. But regardless, we're going to try to help you. And that's the whole premise of what we're trying to accomplish.
Okay, so we covered engage, we covered connect, we covered post, and now it should be the easiest one is repeat. So what is a good strategy for making engaging on LinkedIn part of your everyday routine?
Time blocking. Tip number 1, block it on your calendar or it will probably never happen. Or if it happens, it's just going to be random and sporadic. So I'm a huge fan of time blocking, and I tell all the sales teams that I train to put it on your calendar every single day. And you should be spending at least 1 hour a day on LinkedIn. And we have a 1 hour a day checklist that we give clients, and essentially it just walks through everything you need to do. But the moment, you log in, you need to be looking for, so give not only time block, right, like an hour a day, but then have a sheet or whatever you use to keep organized and say, okay, for 15 minutes, I'm going to spend on my LinkedIn feed, just perusing and leaving comments. For another 15 minutes, I have this list of ICPs I'm going after. I'm going to comment on their posts. For another 15 minutes, I'm going to look at all the connection requests. Another, I'm going to send out connection requests. I'm going to look at comments, right? So if you have what you're going to do every single day, then you're way more efficient with your time, and it actually gets you somewhere. And when it comes to content, I'm a huge fan of doing this ahead of time, right? So batching content. So for me, I write all my content, my team and I, on Sundays over the weekend. And then we have our whole content plan for the weekend. If stuff comes up, that's cool. We can throw it in. If someone shares something of me and I want to post it, like we can arrange, we can iterate, but at least like the main strategy of the content for the week is planned. And so the cool thing with LinkedIn now is you can schedule content. So again, I'm a huge fan of taking advantage of these scheduling mechanisms and also planning content ahead of time, because everyone is busy. Professionals are busy. Salespeople are busy. So if you have an idea of what you want to share ahead of time, you can go ahead and obviously post that and schedule that in. And then as things come up, you can obviously iterate. So that's kind of the process I like to use, but it's going to depend on the person and what works best for them in terms of, what time of day to time block and what exactly they're trying to accomplish. But you really need a plan of action, and it would be beneficial to write all this down that I'm saying right now and just a little checklist for yourself, and then just go through that every single day.
I love the tip of breaking that hour into 15-minute increments, because I think sometimes people see a whole hour and they just can't organize it in their heads. But saying, okay, these 15 minutes, etc. I think that really would help someone get through that hour, but make sure it's super productive.
Exactly.
All right. Well, that's all the time we have. Thanks for all those excellent social selling tips. I really appreciate you joining us.
Yeah. Thanks for having me.
And thanks to all of you for tuning in. Remember, you want to like this video, subscribe to the channel, and hit that bell for notifications so you don't miss an episode. And we will see you next week on Closing Time.